everyone, how are you today? I'm so excited that I can come on and do this live broadcast in the WAM book community. First of all, thank you to Tammy once again for allowing me to do a live broadcast on this book. And I'm always grateful for the opportunity to come and present live in the community. So I've managed to listen to one or two other broadcasts about this book, and I must admit and agree with one broadcaster that I was listening to. The book is really short, but it is very, very impactful. There's loads of tips in there. So the book is The Power of Time Management by Angel D. Santos, and I'm doing Chapter 6, Secret 4, which is Millionaires Know How to Focus. And I want to start off with a quote, which is at the beginning of the chapter that I was reading, which is Venus Williams says, "I don't focus on what I'm up against. I focus on my goals and I try to ignore the rest. I don't focus on what I'm up against. I focus on the goals." And sometimes that can be our downfall, where we focus on the opposition and not on the goal. And the thing is, it's the power of focus. Now, I was watching Venus's sister Serena at Wimbledon, and obviously Serena, she's married, she just had a baby. She didn't win Wimbledon, but she dedicated her performance or her ability to get to the final to all working mums. So before, Serena's total focus was on Wimbledon. She was always on point. But now Serena has another focus. She's got a baby. And Olympia is her heart. So her focus has slightly shifted into another great area, which is her child and her family. So the power of focus is really, really important. And we can come up with a lot of oppositions in life. There is maybe not one day that goes past where we don't have something opposing us. But the only reason that we can win in that particular day is to learn the power of focus and staying on course despite what you might be going through. Okay, so let me just read you a couple of things that Angel wrote in this book. It's a really good book. It is short, but it's so powerful. So let me just read you a couple of quotes here. She says, "Gaining and maintaining focus is a major part of productivity. Working long hours and having a lot on your mind, your focus can go out of the window because of distractions and interruptions in life." So, because I've got a life coaching business and I also work full time. I leave my house at 7 a.m. in the morning. I get up about 5:30. Leave my house about 7 a.m. in the morning, and then I don't get home till about 5:15, 5:30. That is a long day. And you realize that you can be so consumed with your work, that the secular work that you have to do, that you don't have any energy left for your own business. And sometimes to get that balance is very, very difficult. And Angel goes through some really, really great tips and ideas which should help you focus on establishing clear goals. So let me give you some ideas that Angel gives in this really awesome book. So the first one is to create a prioritized to-do list. Create a prioritized to-do list. And actually, when I read this is something that I do. I've got I haven't got it in here. I've got my diary, which is like 1 page per day. And at the beginning of the week, I write down everything that I've got to do. So in here, Angel's saying that you write down everything you have to do, a prioritized list. Then from that main list, you take a couple of things that you want to do and you break those down into small bite pieces that you can accomplish at least one task or two tasks per day. Break the big things down into small chunks so that you can give attention and focus to those bite-sized chunks of things to do. And she gives an example of, okay, you want to clean your whole house, okay, and that can be daunting because I've got a 3-bedroom house, and I think, oh, I want to clean the whole house. But she says, instead of seeing it as a big thing, oh, I've got to clean the house, there's so much to do, you break it down and you do one room. So today you might do the bathroom, tomorrow you might do the kitchen, or if you can whiz it through for the day, that's fine. But she says, break it down. Your goal is to have your whole house clean. Break it down into small chunks and also allocate a time frame to your cleaning. So which is what I do. So for example, I want to clean my whole house. I'll start in the bathroom and I'll give myself 30 minutes to whiz through the bathroom. Okay, then you move on to something else and you give yourself another half hour. Give yourself allocated time frames to do those tasks. Okay, and she says also to assign a deadline to each task. Assign a deadline. So she was saying, which is, I totally agree with it, and I find myself doing that. She was saying, allocate a time frame. So for example, if I'm prepping for my business or writing some blogs or doing videos or whatever, I tend to allocate myself 1 hour slots, because she says after a while, if you don't allocate a slot, if you go over your half an hour or your hour, you can become distracted and you lose focus. You might start fidgeting, you might start playing in your phone, you might start going into your social media, and then you become distracted because your brain is no longer engaged in the activity that you're doing. So allocate time slots to your bite-sized activities, and when that time slot has ended, you get up, you move around, you leave the room, you go for a walk, you do something else away from that task, so that you will always remain on point when you go back to it. Okay, which is something that I do. I do my tasks and then I go off and maybe to go for a walk, or I go to the gym or something. So allocate a time frame, and then after that time frame, leave the task alone so that your focus is always sharp. Because when you try and do your task on burnout, that's not going to work. You're not thinking, your focus is not there, your brain is all over the place, you start thinking about other things, and you actually don't accomplish that task and you're wasting time. So allocate your time frame. Then she was saying, have only one to-do list. I used to have a few. I don't know about anybody else. I used to have a few. One for my coaching, one for the house, one to do this, one to do the cleaning. But she says, when you do that, you never accomplish anything and you can get confused. So she says, have everything on one list, and then everything to do with the house, which is, let's say, your cleaning schedule, you tick off all the things to do with your house. You do those first from the main list. And then when you've done that, you move on to something else. So she was talking about the power of having one to-do list and not having several, not having a notebook here, or having your, your phone with your app, your to-do list app or your notebook, and you've got all these to-do lists everywhere and you can actually accomplish nothing. Now, this is something that I do. In the book, she suggests 5. I have my list and I allocate myself to do 3 of my tasks per day. In the book, she suggests 5. But I do 3. If I can get 3 of the things done on my list in any given day, then I've won. Then I feel that I've accomplished something. If I can only do one or two things in that day, then I'm not going to beat myself up. I'll just carry that one thing over into the next day. Okay, so there should be no pressure on doing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things and then beating yourself up at the end of the day because you haven't done it. Remember, you're trying to keep your focus razor sharp. So for me personally, I'd rather do 2 things well and then have my third thing to carry over. If I have enough energy and my focus is still with it, maybe I will do 4 things that day, it depends. But I always make sure I try and do 3, but not beat myself up if I can't do 3. And the thing is, it's better to do 2 or 3 things well and know that you've done a good job and you've put your focus and energy into it than doing 6 or 7 things badly and then finding out that tomorrow you've got to go over those 6 or 7 things because you didn't do something right on that day. So do 2 or 3 things or 1 or 2 things well. Okay, and then, which is something that I do, and I've got to work on that after reading this book. She said, no to multitasking. You know, women were always, you know, we're saying that women can multitask very well. Men are not very good at multitasking. But actually, in this book, Angel says that multitasking is not a good idea and it ruins your focus. Because if you're trying to multitask doing 3 or 4 things, your focus is divided on 3 or 4 things and it's not sharp. So do one thing at a time and give your focus 100% to that item or to that thing that you're doing. Don't allow your focus to be divided through multitasking. Okay? Focus killers. Things that steal your focus. The number one thing that can steal your focus is social media. Yes, social media can steal your focus, especially with those notifications. Because on Facebook, because on my phone, I've turned off all of my notifications. I've turned them off on my iPhone. I don't have them on. And I have actually cut down the amount of social media that I go on. Social media can really steal your focus and weaken it because it's taking you away from what you should be focusing on. If you've got if you're writing a book and you've got to write 800 words today and your brain begins to wander, and then you pick up your phone which is nearby and then you start playing about in this, before you realize it, you spent 1 hour on here. And you think, oh, I've spent 1 hour in here. You can, in the book, she suggests that you have dedicated time that you go on social media. Don't deny yourself if that's what you like doing, but have a set time. But after that set time, get on with what is on your list to do and don't let social media run your life, as it were. Okay? She says another focus killer is burnout. When we have overworked ourselves, that can ruin your focus. You can't focus on anything. You can't give your attention to anything because you are burnt out. And especially as women, we have to recognize the signs and symptoms of burnout. Because this superwoman thing, this being a strong woman, that we're able to multitask and do so many different things, it's not good for us. It's not good for us, and we are not implementing the power of focus in the things that we have to do. When you have young children, yes, you're multitasking like crazy because you've got so many things. I used to be able to wash, cook, do all kinds of things at the same time, but now, no. I don't do that now. You have to take time out for yourself in order to keep your focus sharp. So my habit is every Saturday I go to the gym, I swim, and I go in the health suite, which has a jacuzzi, sauna, and a steam room. I've got my face mask on and all of that, and I'm lying on the little benches that they have there, and I'm chilling out. I don't bring my phone in there. I don't bring no book. I just sit down. and listen to the bubbles of the jacuzzi, because when I come out of there, my focus, which may have been off because I'm so tired, it has now realigned, and I'm ready to do any task that is on my list to do, because I've taken time to recuperate and align myself back. So it's really important to fight, or to find ways to fill with focus killers. So I find things that work for me, and it's important for you to keep your business, your mind on focus, is to find things that work for you. The last thing that I'm going to mention that Angel talks about is to develop a pre-work ritual. So if you have a project to do, or you've got a business to run, and then before you start, she's suggesting that you can do meditation, you can do prayer, you can listen to music, read a book, work out, walk in the park. Do something that can set your mind up to become focused and to, do one of the tasks that you've got on your list. So that's my sharing today. And I want to challenge you to identify those things which may help you to lose focus and work on improving your focus. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you gained something from what I shared today. And thank you, Tammy, for allowing me to take part in this book club this month. It's a really awesome book. Did learn quite a bit in there, even though it was short, and Angel did a really good job with that book. So thank you for joining me. If you want to find out more about me, my website is heartofrefuge.org. heartofrefuge.org. I have a YouTube channel with over 60 videos on there. So head over to my YouTube channel, which is Heart of Refuge channel. And you can go on there, listen to my videos, watch my videos, and please make sure that you subscribe to my videos. Joining me, I appreciate you, and I'll catch up with you soon.